It's not about the time that it takes to produce a block. It's the amount of blocks that you produce in that window. For example, Kadena's blockchain produces a block every 30 seconds. Well, they're actually minting 20 blocks every 30 seconds. So if you actually take it into context, as the Kadena blockchain scales, so does their throughput. It technically gets faster and faster and faster and faster. But a lot of people overlook that fact. So in this interview with Stuart Popejoy, the CEO of Kadena, and Kevin, the CEO of Coinmetro, we're gonna dive deep into why the Kadena blockchain was designed the way it was. And if y'all ready, let's dive deep.
And now, we've obviously Ethereum, when it comes to smart contracts, is kind of, has had, the majority share of the market. And like you said, they are losing that share, and they are losing share to different protocols. If you had to pick, if off the top of your head, just based on kind of the experience you've already had with Kadena, looking at, where you're headed, what type of products you've been working on, what you plan to work on in the future, in terms of that protocol war, do you think there's a specific niche or or maybe a group of niches or a group of let's say industries that Kadena is better suited for? And I don't want to go as broad as just to say finance, because that's kind of an easy one. But is there, inside of finance, let's say, is there something that you believe that you're really well suited to do? Whether it's because of high throughput, whether it's because of more security, and even outside of that financial realm, is there an industry, is there a problem that you believe, Kadena as a protocol really provides that, let's say a solution that other products on the market simply don't?
Yeah, I would say the two words to look at in that are clearing and interop. Yeah. And so that sounds kind of funny, like, Kadena's the place to be. Why do you care about interop? Well, let's look to the word clearing. So, yeah. And this actually gets into, some of the meaningful differences between layer ones out there right now, like Kadena. Kadena as a proof of work blockchain is not what people call fast finality. A blockchain, something like BSC or, most of the proof of stake platforms operate more with this notion of fast finality, and it would seem to intuitively make sense. Like, isn't faster better? So the nuance there is just to realize that something like clearing is something that in the real world is much slower than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it takes like an hour for your transaction to affirm it,
T1 or T2 settle. Or T3.
The New York Stock Exchange takes 2 days or 3 days to settle. Visa takes 30 days, if that. And you guys are an exchange, so you probably know this very well. Yeah. You get paid via Visa.
Faster, but basically it's kind of like factoring. You end up paying a fee to settle faster, but you're still going to take 9 days, 7 days, etc. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, and even then they can challenge it. The contracts you sign with them
for 180 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long period.
So funny, he actually says that. I own a company that I started during the C word, right? And I sold supplies. It's so hard to say that. I launched a website on Wix, and I had all the proper documentation, all the certifications, actually FDA approval, the whole 9 yards. Well, Wix decided that the products that I was selling was quote unquote sensitive to the situation going on around the world. So they froze. After selling $9,000 worth of products that got delivered, tracking numbers showed delivered, customers were leaving 5-star reviews saying that they were happy, Wix shut down my site and they froze all of my funds. Froze everything. $9,000. I had to shut down my website. I had to rebuild my website on another site. I had to reach out to each customer individually and say, hey, I know you got that product. I know you've already paid for it. I know you've been charged. I haven't got the money yet. So unfortunately, Wix is going to hold it. Could you guys mind do me a favor? Can I cancel that and invoice you from my another account? So I had to move my site off of Wix, rebuild it on GoDaddy, and then relaunch my website. To this day, they say that they can only hold it for 180 days. To this day, almost 2 years later, I have not gotten a penny from them. And legally, by law, like Stuart just said, they can dispute it for 180 days. So at that 180-day mark, they're technically legally supposed to have to either forfeit those funds or refund all of your clients. So most likely my customers actually ended up getting a full refund for that $9,000. Not a good way to start out a new business, taking a $9,000 L the first week. And that's something that would have never been able to be possible with crypto. Even using PayPal, because I used Wix payments, I was going through their payment provider. I had PayPal set up. I did get all my PayPal payments. Luckily, it was about 50%, or I would have been out probably $18,000. With crypto, that crypto would have been in my account. I would have had to use no middleman. And I think that every person that has issues like that, you ever have an issue with customer service or getting money or PayPal freezing your account or Venmo or Chase Bank, every day, people get more and more irritated with the current financial situations around the world. It's only a matter of time before big players totally start to see the advantages, because you're going to start aligning incentives with retail investors. And once retail starts to adopt it, institutionals will come in and back it.
Well, and that translates to a very real notion of risk.
Counterparty risk.
Yeah. That is something that, like, when you're looking at the big picture of your business, if you're an exchange, if you're anybody that is in this, that is exposed to this, any merchant, that risk is something that you got to factor in for, whether that's through insurance or whatever you have to do. So you look at something like Bitcoin, where that shrinks down to an hour, that's lightning fast. You go to Ethereum, where it's faster than that, and we're faster than Ethereum, but not much. We have way more throughput than Ethereum. But we're in the same kind of zone. I mean, honestly, they're all in the same zone. Bitcoin's definitely the slowest. But you can see Bitcoin, the point there being that what you're really looking for in clearing is, and the reason why stocks take 3 days, and the reason why Visa takes 30 days, is that when that period is expired, it's set in stone and it's done. And that's what Bitcoin excels at. Once that hour has gone by, that money is there forever. Well, until, at least that transfer is never, ever going to be repudiated. And that's what clearing is really all about. And it's an interop world, right? There's going to be, fast finality is going to make sense for a number of applications. There might be other things, privacy chains, any number of other use cases that.
All those other protocols in the protocol war, basically.
Right.
I wonder what the difference between rebuilding your entire protocol on top of Kadena using Pact versus trying to bridge over or bridge out of Kadena and connect to another ecosystem, because you can't really do it in a decentralized way. It doesn't really make sense to me. My question now is, can something like Solana be built on top of Kadena? And doesn't Kuro already take care of all that fast finality? If I'm not mistaken, hopefully they cover it. Now, personally, I don't think that they're going to be interoperability anything. If I can build a blockchain like Solana with high throughput on top of Kadena, most likely that's what you're going to see happen. I would assume that nobody wants to build a protocol in Rust or Solidity, no matter how great the coder. It just seems like the hackers get better and better, and the security in the blockchain industry gets less and less every day. There's always a new Ethereum hack, there's a new Solana hack, there's a new wormhole bridge hack, there's a new NFT hack. Every day, millions, if not billions of dollars are getting stolen out of this industry, all from blockchains that are either coded in Rust or Solidity. So interoperability maybe, but I think it's going to be interoperability with things that are actually built in Pact. And my next question would be, Stuart, if you wanted to rebuild a blockchain similar to Solana, how long would it take you to rebuild that on top of Kadena using Pact?
What we're seeing is that they're quite resilient. It's something about crypto, to take just one example, Cardano. Cardano is kind of heating up these days, given how long it's taken them to ship some of this stuff. Again, in any other industry, long forgotten by now.
I couldn't agree with Stuart more. There is not an industry in the world where you can make a promise to deliver a product in 2 years and you not deliver, and the industry even give a crap about you. Imagine if it took Tesla 5 more years to deliver their first Model T. I can't say for certain, but I don't think Tesla would have made it. If it would have took Facebook 5 more years to create Facebook, would Facebook have ever flipped MySpace? Or would something like Instagram or another player actually already flipped them and made it impossible for them to even get their feet off the ground?
But in this industry, they're actually kind of like, there's almost a halo surrounding them because of it. Who knows what the actual distinction is going to be for something like Cardano, but if there is, it's going to be important to be able to move that value around. And that's where interop comes in. The thing to realize about Kadena is that Kadena is already an interop chain because of how we scaled. Every chain on Kadena is actually an independent blockchain. It's just got these witnesses to the other chains, which critically allows us to posit that only one KDA is in one place at any time. And then we can move it around, and then it creates this illusion that KDA is the same token on all of the chains. And from a kind of clearing and fiduciary point of view, it is.
Yeah.
But they are different chains. And so the point is that we did that with our smart contract language in a way that any developer can replicate with like 10 lines of code and know that it's going to be 100% safe.
One of the huge advantages to Kadena, because Kadena's blockchain is designed to communicate to multiple chains. They started with a 10-chain braided network, and then they scaled up to a 20-chain braided network on mainnet when the entire world was watching. Actually, not many people were watching, but this next time the entire world will be watching. When they go from 20 to 50 chains, it's probably going to be one of the coolest things that we've witnessed in this industry outside of a Bitcoin halving. It's big news, guys.
That's the future. Because right now, if you look at interop, it's like a terrifying space. And a lot of these exploits are happening in the interop space when people are trying to move large amounts of money from one place to another.
And what Stuart's talking about there is probably the big wormhole, the big Ronin bridge hack. When you're trying to move and secure large amounts of money, for example, if I am the protocol that is holding the assets, so when you bridge into one ecosystem, for example, if I want to go from Ethereum to BSC, you would go through a bridge. And what you do is you take your Ethereum and you stake your Ethereum in this protocol. This protocol locks it up and they say, hey, we got this Ethereum locked up here. It's not moving. And then what they do is they make you a new version of that Ethereum token, that exact same token, but they make it on Solana. So eSolana, right? This one stays locked up so you can use this one over in the Solana ecosystem. If you ever want to go out of the Solana ecosystem, you need to go back through that same protocol. They'll take it, they'll destroy this one, and then they'll free up this one, and this one can go back into the Ethereum ecosystem. So what you end up with is a big pile of coins that are all locked in this protocol, making it a perfect target because, like we saw, 360 million, 375 million, 600 something million in the Axie Infinity Ronin bridge hack, right? Because there's such a big pool of money, and that's where we're running into trouble, trying to do that in a decentralized way and secure these protocols. How can you mess that up? How can you leave a loophole? How can you allow there to be a backdoor? Because you can't read the code. Like, we're talking about basic shit here, guys. 101. How can you not secure a protocol? Especially when you've been designing it in this industry. You've been writing code, you've been writing smart contracts. The EVMs have been here for over half a decade, and people still can't figure out a way to make it safe, guys. How many more millions and billions of dollars are people going to lose before they wake up and realize that the future is not interoperability? The future is not multi-chain. The future is security. And if these other blockchains can't get it together and they can't operate in a secure, safe, and decentralized manner, they don't stand a chance. I know everybody wants to wag me, but I'm not feeling so wag me anymore. I'm not feeling so wag me anymore.
So
it's clumsy is what it is. And the more clumsy it is, well, the more exploits there usually are.
So, I mean, for example, the bridge we're going to roll out is going to offer a form of swaps that basically allow you to achieve a position on the target chain. So, for instance, in the case of Ethereum, we're going to be able to do this with no special code on Ethereum. All of the code is going to be in Pact that will power the swap. And this is the model you're going to see going forward, is that an important thing about a clearing platform is you need to have trust in the mechanisms that are doing the clearing. And there's no better platform for that than Pact, because Pact, you can go on the blockchain, you can see the source code, you can see exactly what's going on, you can see what kind of security is being applied, and you can, and then, so for instance, when this bridge rolls out, people are going to see that, like there's going to be all this code in Pact uses the relay, which is what the bonding program is for. So it's basically using Pact as this incredible platform for innovation to make rock solid financial transactions happen at scale.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
So now we can kind of get a better idea, right? Now, I've interviewed the Kadena team multiple times, and I can't say, but I'm pretty sure it was after this interview. I'm almost guaranteed it was after this interview. I'm pretty sure that the Kadena team has ended the decentralized bridging to Kadena. I want to say they spent a couple years trying to build a safe and secure protocol that would allow you to bridge to other ecosystems in a safe, decentralized, and secure way. And because of Solidity smart contracts, I think that there's just not a safe way to do it. Now, I could be wrong on that. Technology could change. But as of now, I'm pretty sure that there's no safe way to do that. That's why they use TokenSoft as their third party to do things like wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin. So we'll know a lot more once CADEX launches. Rumor has it, Marmalade is actually running on Chain 8 right now. So if people want to build, people want to use it. And I just got a notification, forgot what I was saying. So we'll end it there. Shout out to Kevin at Coinmetro. Shout out to Stuart Popejoy at Kadena. Make sure you guys swing over to Coinmetro's Twitter. Make sure you swing over to Kadena's Twitter. Make sure you guys show them some love. And if you guys want to learn how to set up a Coinmetro account, you guys want to get a $10 free sign up bonus, affiliate links will be down below in the description. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys.